Hello and an Aussie greeting from me today. I'm actually in Wellington after a late night flight into New Zealand last night. A lot of the flights seem to arrive at around midnight. So I'm hoping that I'm looking a little bit more alert than that, but fantastic to see you. Welcome to this live. If you're here for 3 style features that make styling easy, a warm welcome to you. So this is an interaction and a presentation. You are welcome to use the chat. I will pay attention to that. I'll flick over to it every couple of minutes. I'll stay at the end to hear any comments and questions, answer anything that has come up for you. I will let you know at the end how you can work with me. How is your day going? This is one way that we could talk about our day. Is there a color here that describes your day? Which color would describe your day so far? A fun way to flip the script on the 0 to 10 rating for your day. Which color stands out, and is there one that really speaks to you at this moment, and why did you choose it? I would love to hear in the chat. And I think for me, do you know what? I'm actually going to pick blue, but it is probably for a reason other than we normally associate blue. I just had the strongest sense to wear blue. Today I was thinking, I was sitting here in a linen jacket and it just felt not right. I was thinking, I need to wear blue. I want to be in blue today. It's a fun blue for me. This is a really, fun top. The green, love that. The bright and energetic vibe, that gorgeous feeling of energy. What a fantastic day. That sounds awesome. So cool. Thank you for joining me. And so let's hear a little around this topic. I wanted to give you some of my background. I was a great art student. I was in a professional role before I really started to land my style. And even before that, one of the moments that I remember that I think was quite defining in my style journey was, excuse me, as a junior accountant before university. I was 16 at the time. I was 17. I had trouble just getting dressed in the morning. Sometimes it would take 10, 15 minutes. And there were just too many moments where it was difficult to know what to wear to the office. And one day I distinctly remember being about 15 minutes late for work because I couldn't decide what to wear. I had ended up choosing a cream skirt similar to this one here, which I have to say is a terrible design for my body shape. We'll talk more about how to look at clothes to make sure that they are a good shape for you. And I didn't know that at the time. I hadn't got that foundation. I felt quite at sea. I just knew that it didn't feel right and I couldn't create a replacement in the collection that I had. Obviously the story changes at some point, and I did end up really relying on my science brain. Loved science at school, ended up doing an applied science degree to work out what are the core principles, what are the cut-through ideas, what are the things that are going to consistently, repeatedly work across outfits for us so that we can make style come together for us, and it's not dependent on some arbitrary advice from here or there, which seems to change and be variable. I was really looking at what are the key objective measures or things we can fall back on. And 3 of those style features are what we're going to be talking about today. I ended up working out body shape first, and then I worked out my colors and my style synergy. And then I ended up landing my style so well that it not only helped me in my career, but someone asked me to give a talk on style. And it was so much fun. I just enjoyed seeing the smiles on those women's faces so greatly that I wanted to do more of that. And it synergized for me with a time in my career when I was consulting, but I also was looking for something a little different in my business life. And so then personal styling came to me in a sense. I always thought I would do something with fashion. And it came across my path sooner than I thought. So that has been the journey for me Yeah, or that was my journey up until this point to becoming a stylist. And body shape was really the first thing that I was concerned with, or that I noticed, or that didn't quite sit right. So I'm interested to hear. I know some people come at styling from the perspective of colors. That's the first thing they're wanting to land, and others come at it from body shape, and sometimes occasionally someone will come at it from that style synergy, style personality perspective. Love to hear for you which of those is front of mind, and is it body shape? There are 5 body shapes. Regardless of whether body shape is top of mind for you, every woman wants to look great in her figure, and a flattering look can't be flattering without flattering your figure to look fantastic. Now I have a system of body shape strategies which I've developed over time that gives you the science, gives you the repeatedly consistent ways to style your figure. And these 3 style features that I'll cover today, the first step in understanding how to use your strategy. It's a lovely, simple, I like to say it's sophisticated and simple, like that gorgeous Leonardo da Vinci quote. So let's dive into them. What is the difference between an outfit that flatters your body shape and one that doesn't? The one that flatters you uses these 3 features perfectly, and the one that doesn't detracts from your shape. These 3 features are used in a way that detracts from your shape. It brings out your not best rather than your best. And what we're doing today is really giving you a map so that you can know where you're going. It's the overall, it's like seeing pieces on the map. It's not the exact path or the full detailed description. At the same time, it will show you the direction of where you need to go. And that direction I see as like working magic, that we're legitimately working magic. There is a science and an art to magic. Magicians aren't blown away by what they do because they know how they did it. At the same time, they're using smoke and mirrors to trick the eye, to create an effect that gives us a wow moment. And we're doing the same. With style, we're asking, which style will enhance my best features? Which looks, what elements of looks can I use to flatter my figure overall so that I know how to look my best? So firstly, let's think about white pants. And that's going to demonstrate the first of the 3 features. I've had a few women I've worked with say, I would just love to get into a pair of white jeans. And I'm the body shape type that can't go near white jeans and pull together a really flattering outfit. I could probably push it. There are a couple of ways I could maximize it and make it work as best I can. At the same time, there are other body shape types that can absolutely go for white jeans. So what is it that makes that work for some and not for others? Well, there's something about color where white shows us so much more than black. And this is a nice way to look at it. On the left, you've got Kim Kardashian in a black dress that she wore to the Met Gala in, I think, 2021. And then you've got Rihanna on the right in white. And when you look at the two of them, I don't know if you have the experience where with Kim Kardashian's dress, and it doesn't help that we can't see her face, but with her dress, we can't really see her that well. You actually can't see the outline of her that well. You find yourself having to look at it quite closely to see where are the lines, where are the folds, excuse me, and that is just purely because of the physics of black. Then white, on the other hand, which reflects light, shows us a lot of light, gives us all of this detail around the shape of Rihanna's outfit. We can see even just a little tiny detail there at the shoulders. We see the curve under her bust. We see the folds in her skirt. And we don't get that kind of detail from the black outfit on the left. So that's showing us something. We're going to have a look at that in more detail in a few slides here. And what I want you to think is, where is my eye drawn? Where do I have a reason to pause? Where am I looking and my eye immediately goes there? And it's an instant quick thing. So if you're not sure, if you've looked at that and you haven't had that question, just look away and look back and just notice, where does your eye get drawn? Then let's do that in another one. And you may see that it's the lighter color, that lighter color. It was white, it was a skirt on the first one, and now it's a top in this one. The white draws our eye, and black as a dark color is harder to look at. It's literally harder to see the outline, and the eye is generally drawn away from it. So I've chosen white and black because the effect is really striking. And it's a clear example, perhaps the most obvious, of how you can use color to draw the eye. We're going to look at that in a couple of other outfits. So take a look at this example. Here I've used color against the black. And if you do that trick where you look away and you look back, you may notice that your eye is immediately drawn to her top. Even though those are fairly slim-fitting pants on both of them, for both women, the eye is drawn to the top. Then you'll notice on this one, what if we use white? And yes, we see color. At the same time, those white pants really stand out. So there's so much we could talk about. Fashion is so diverse. For every woman here who would have an outfit in mind, there are probably 50 or 100 variations of that, depending on color and season and material use. There is so much diversity in fashion, which is what we love about it. Comment there from Nicola, love the color, so true, just love it. And it's a powerful tool for us in styling. There's so much that I can't cover because it's so diverse. At the same time, I hope that I've now drawn your eye to paying attention to color, and specifically seeing that difference between the really dark colors and the really light colors in terms of where they draw the eye, so that you can think about that for your shape. So now let's have a look at a different type of outfit to see the second feature. This is often how people dress when they want to, well, perhaps you're having a resort day moment. Perhaps this is you by the pool in Thailand somewhere. I'm thinking more of the one on the right. Perhaps this is a shopping day. These outfits absolutely fit into a gorgeous look and gorgeous style. There's absolutely nothing wrong with them. At the same time, they are the kinds of outfits that women will sometimes wear when they want to hide their figure. And so there's another way to style ourselves. There's this as one extreme, and then there's another way to style ourselves, which I'll show in a second. And knowing how to style your figure is really about feeling great in what you wear. So you think, this is me in my best life, which these outfits absolutely could be. The point is just that the outline of them, the shape, is hiding her figure in each case. And so the opposite is to use shapes to not hide parts of the figure and to highlight or to bring them out. And obviously we're not flaunting necessarily here. We're not hiding. When we're styling ourselves to be seen, to really show up, that's when we're keeping the figure in proportion, and we're being fully seen. So it's a decision to be seen, to keep everything in balance, and to do that in a harmonious way. So on these outfits, which are not the very spacious, in some ways sack-like options from the previous slide, where do you find your eye being drawn? Have a look at the lady on the left, and you may notice that, and it certainly helps that she's holding her belt. You may notice that your eye is drawn to her waist. And then the lady on the right, you may notice as well, your eye is drawn to her waist and possibly to her lower half. That's where we've got some really interesting shaping going on. What about this one? You'll notice that there are different shapes. So the silhouette on the left and the silhouette on the right are quite different in terms of the leg silhouette. At the same time, there's shaping going on at the top. So what do you notice about where your eye is drawn for those? And oh, I can use my cursor. This is great. So there's some shape there. You're probably out of this because this is the point of difference. This is where we would see you probably found yourself looking towards her top half. And there's a little bit of color there, a little bit of color contrast. And now she's got shaping there as well. And then this is shaping around here, a little bit of color contrast. And you might secondarily look, your eye might glance down at the pants as well, the trousers. At the same time, that shaping around the top is more prominent. So that's where you probably would look. So there's something there around the shape. And we can use shape then to flatter our figure, to keep it all in proportion and to feel that you're getting that flattering effect. So that's the second tool, shaping. And there are, as I said, 5 different body shapes. So what suits your shape could very well be quite different to the woman next to you. We just come in such a diverse range of shapes and sizes. And that is worth celebrating. What's flattering for one woman could be the opposite for the other. And if you know how to style your shape, then you're probably already using these features, and they hopefully give you an easy, not effortless, but they give you a simple, easy framework that you can continue to work with. And I also have a power session, which I'll tell you about, where in 55 minutes you can understand exactly how to style your figure, and takes out a lot, even a lot more questions than we are addressing today. So let's look at some further obvious contrasts to see the third feature and see the effect of that. Where do you find your eye being drawn on this outfit? This is straight out of the 80s. I think the magazine was The Real 80s, or it was a quote like that. We really dressed like that in the 80s was the point. It was just fantastic. So perhaps you find your eye being drawn to the shoulder pads. What about this one? What gives your eye a reason to land in any particular spot? And you might notice that it's the difference in the pattern. So those pockets at the bust. And then, of course, there's a difference there with the jeans. And those features are causing our eye to land in that spot. Here's another one. What about on this example? What draws your eye? And you may notice that it's the pink rosette. And of course, there's a difference there between the pink and the orange, but the pink rosette really stands out. And here's another feature that is drawing our eye. So features could include almost anything you can think of: patterns, buttons, lapels, zips, applique. And I know I titled this session Style Features. And so you may have been thinking that these were the kinds of things that we were going to talk about. There really just isn't another word for features, so that's why I've had to use it twice. And what I hope you'll walk away with is that these 3 style features make personal style work for you. They are that 80%, the Pareto principle for styling your shape so that it's flattering for you: color, shapes, and features. It's also about keeping your standards high and not trying to work with looks that just don't work for you. And one of the reasons that Style Gorgeous has a 5-star rating is that my clients finally get to feel fantastic in their figure. And if you are ready for the easiest path to brilliant style with low fuss styling that only takes 10 hours of your time to achieve a complete new wardrobe, then I'm delighted to share that I'm offering a unique package at the moment, the Executive Brilliance Package. And with this one, in week 2, you see your style beginning to take shape. By week 4, you have outfits you can try on. By week 6, you're wearing outfits you feel fantastic about. And in week 7, you have a completed collection. So it's amazing what we achieve in a very short space of time. And I also offer coaching, including this power session, the Faultless Figure Body Shape Strategy power session, where you learn your body shape strategy. You get one clear visual to guide you, 3 or 4 decisions to make, depending on your shape. 10 necklines, 5 silhouettes. It takes a lot of the questions out. You get understanding and clarity to see exactly how it works in real outfits. You get a PDF summary and you get perks, including text counsel. So I literally get texts from my clients with images saying, how does this work for my body shape? And we go back and forth about that. For 55 minutes of your time, you save a lifetime of annoyance and you can shop with much greater clarity. We can make that whole problem of knowing how to style your figure completely disappear for you. And that, yeah, with this one, you access it by a payment link. So I will include the payment link. You don't need to take up a discovery call. It's 55 minutes, so I've just made it straight through. You can just book straight away by paying that. And then if you're curious to learn a lot more from me about style features, about how to style yourself, about how to find your style, you can join me next week. And I also have, I'll show you this title for next week, Finding Your Best Style, How Female Executives Can Discover Their Most Powerful Style. And then I also have a range of lives that I've done over the last few weeks. I think I've been doing them here for about 6 weeks now, and YouTube videos that I can send you. So if you are curious about a topic, I'm open ears to what you would like to hear more about, and I may have a live on that already, which I can flick over to you. Please feel free to drop me a message about that. I'd be happy to send it on. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you again next week, same time. Bye for now.